Alright, so let's take a look at this nice game, OpenTTD. If you don't know what the TTD means, that's Transport Tycoon Deluxe. And this is essentially a game of transporting things, whether that is people or mail or iron or whatever else. There are plenty of different things to produce or to collect, to transport, and to make money from transporting. And this is a free game, so if you'd like to try the game or play the game, I'll put a link in the description for you to go and download it and play for yourself. If you already have the game, then of course no need to do that. So all I'm gonna do is in this video we're gonna look at buying your first vehicles and basically starting your first industry. And so all we'll do is we'll start a new game with the basic settings. Not going to change anything here. I have changed the town names to Turkish because I thought that was fun. But otherwise, let's just generate a new world here. And this is one of the nice things. I do like games like this where it generates an entirely unique and new world just for you, and essentially no one else has played on this world that I've just created here. And so we can navigate the map with the arrow keys. WASD doesn't work in this regard, and we can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. And we can just see there are towns, there are villages, there are farms, lakes, rivers, all kinds of different things here. And we start in the year 1945, I think. And like I said before, this is a game of transporting things. And what things we can see by clicking on the little things we can see on the map. So, first one we see here, if we click on it, this is a steel mill and it requires iron ore, and if you give it iron ore it will produce steel. And we can click on this display chain button here, and this will show us if we collect iron ore and we bring it to the steel mill, this will produce steel, and this steel we can even transport to a factory. Let's see if we can find a factory on the map. So this looks like a factory here. This says requires livestock or grain or steel, and in return it will produce crates of goods. And crates of goods can be sent to towns, though they have to be of a reasonable size. Let's have a look at this one. That won't show us if it accepts goods. If we want to check if a town accepts goods, what we can do is go to the Build Roads tab here and the truck loading bay, and just click on one of these types here, and we mouse over the town here. You see, whenever we click on a loading bay, we get this overlay of a white square surrounded by purple squares. The white square is where the loading bay would be placed, and all the purple squares are where it can receive or supply goods to. And so if I mouse the loading bay over this small town, we can see here where it says accepts and supplies, it will say just mail. If we try, for example, maybe this bigger town here, this accepts mail and goods. So for those factories that will produce crates of goods, either by being supplied by with steel or something else, we will then be able to place a truck loading bay in a bigger town or city like this in order to deliver the crates of goods there and receive money for that. So let's find a industry that we can begin transporting. And it doesn't really matter what it is. It's really personal preference. You can choose anything you like. But let's just have a quick look around and see what we've got. So we've got a sawmill here. This doesn't produce anything, or it will produce crates of goods, but it requires wood. We have an oil well here, which produces 135,000 liters of oil. And this is an iron ore mine that produces 50 tons of iron ore. Now, one thing that we do want to bear in mind is if we want to make more money rather than less, we would like to find a place that produces more of a resource rather than less. And so when we click on these iron ore mines, we see the last one was 50. This one is 56 tons. This one is 108 tons. And so this is important because to transport from the mine to a, say, steel mill, where we can receive money for transporting the iron ore, we would have to build the roads. We have to build the infrastructure, and that costs us money. And so if we spend all that money just to transport iron from a mine that has only 50 tons of iron ore compared to a mine that has 100 tons of iron ore, we're going to make more money from that infrastructure investment from from the mine that has more resources rather than less. So that's something that we do really want to keep in mind. Now there is a kind of easy way to to solve this issue of where do we get the most resources, and so we can use a kind of town directory here, and we can search the towns by name, or we can even search by population. And if we sort it this way, we'll find a city here that has 3,545 people. We can even search by, let's see, not stations. Let's search, let's go to the city. Okay, so here's a big city now. If we wanted to, say, transport things like people or mail, then the places that have more people, of course, we're gonna be able to transport more of them in that case. Like, it's not only transporting resources like physical things like iron and wood, you can even transport people, in which case you would build buses and bus stations or train stations or planes and plane stations, or as they are more commonly known, airports. So this is one way that we can use the tools that we have at our disposal to search for easier ways to get started like that. Now we can also do a similar thing with the industry button here. So if we want to do the transporting of people or the transporting of mail or something like that, then finding cities or larger towns is going to benefit us in that way. Alternatively, if we want to instead do a more of a industrial thing, we can instead use this industry tab here, and we can again sort. And so let's not sort by name, let's sort by production, and we'll go to the maximum on top. So we see we've got a few farms here, and these are producing grain and livestock. Farm. That's a lot of farms, yes. Wow, an exceedingly large amount of farms producing a lot of things. There's a coal mine that produces coal, and we can just browse here to find whatever we like. We don't have to go with the one that's right on top again. This is a kind of sandbox experience. So if you would like to be a farm magnate, you can do that. But if you would like to instead be the top producer and transporter of wood and whatever else, you could do that instead. For example, this forest here, if we click on it, this one right here, it looks like it's just trees, but actually this is something that we can receive wood from and transport to a sawmill, then to be produced into goods. So let's see. If we click on this forest and we want to transport the wood to a sawmill, what we need is we need to find a sawmill that's not too far away. Otherwise, we would have to invest more heavily in the infrastructure to transport that wood to the sawmill. This is coal. This is a steel mill. Let's see. Can we find a sawmill that's not too far away? In some cases, we can't. In which case then, although this is a nice production of wood, it might not benefit us right at the start of the game to spend so much of our resources on the infrastructure. But I see there is a sawmill here actually, which is not too far away, and as a small bonus, there's even another forest very close to it. So we could even combine two forests here, joining to one sawmill. And then from this sawmill, which will produce crates of goods, we can then send those crates of goods to a nearby town or towns if we feel like it, which potentially could be Sarikaya here, or alternatively, perhaps, K could. Okay, so this is the Turkish names on the towns thing going on, and I'm gonna kind of fail to pronounce the names here, so please bear with me in that regard. Or this one here, sorry, get Chiza. Okay, you maybe if you'd like to make a video on how to play OpenTTD, don't do it with the Turkish names on the towns. Otherwise, you're gonna trip over your own tongue, much like I am doing here. Now, the other issue that I can kind of see here is a direct line from this forest to the sawmill goes over a river. And we can traverse the river with a bridge, but the bridge costs money. That's extra money. That's more money in infrastructure to get the infrastructure, to get the infrastructure, to get the industry up and running. So this is a good example of how we can choose our first industry that we want to go with, but maybe this isn't the best one. So let me instead go back to my list here of top producers. Let's maybe have a look at this top farm here. That's right here. Okay, plenty of grain, plenty of livestock. And these things need to go to a factory, such as this one here, livestock and grain, we see here. So that's, again, it's across a river, but we could actually also circumvent it fairly easily. And then we would need a nearby town to make the most of that, which we have here as well. We could even just go down through the town to the factory here, and even combine this other farm here linking two farms through the towns to the factory here. The factory would then, of course, produce the crates of goods, and the crates of goods could be delivered to these two towns here. Now that sounds like a nice little setup to try. They're not too far away from each other, so there's not such a heavy investment in the beginning infrastructure. So that's what we're going to use for this little tutorial here. So we have the farm, and we want to transport it. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build the roads. So for this video, we're just going to use road vehicles, nothing else. Just I think it's a fairly simple way to learn and understand the game. So to do that, all we need to do is go to the build roads button here and click the auto road, which allows us to build roads in any direction. And we don't actually need to build the road right next to the farm here. And again, if we click on the truck station, okay, for example, this one, we have the white square where the station will be placed, and we have the purple squares that show its kind of catchment area. So we see in the acceptance applies here, if I place the truck station even here, a few squares away from the farm, because the purple catchment area is still over the farm at least with one square, we can still collect the grain and livestock from this farm. So I can place this truck station right here, for example, and we can join it with the roads. And let's see if we can avoid the fields, just for some role playing. Let's generally we want to avoid going up or down hills as that can get a little bit messy. So let's see, we can't really go out of the farm without at least going through some fields. So let's do it like this. Let's go this way down to here, cut around the field, and we could even then just utilize some of the roads that have already been built by the town. So let's do that. Let's bring our road down this way, over to here, down the hill here. Let's link here. We're going to save ourselves the cost of building roads here. And we'll come out on this side here, down the hill like this. And we want to go over to the factory. So let's see. Where will we build the next truck stop? Let's build it. Now, if we can't see well because of all of these trees, what we can do is we can just use the dynamite like this and make the trees explode. It does cost a little bit of money, but at least then we can see the shape of the terrain, and we know then which is a good place to put the truck stop. So let's put it. This seems fine right here. Make sure we get a little loop going on. And the reason I like to choose these two kinds of truck stops compared to these four here is these four aren't kind of like, they're not drive-through truck stops. These two are. So when we use these truck stops, the trucks actually have to go in and kind of park into the parking space to unload and collect goods. Rather, with the drive-through ones here, they will just literally stop at the side of the road and then they will continue down the same road. And overall, that is much faster and much more efficient. So I tend to prefer doing it that way. So let's see if we can make a little loop here. Let's go down the hill, yeah, across, and we'll join up. And we want to join to this road here. Let's just go down the hill like this, over here, and there we go. So now we have a path from the farm here through the town and then to the factory here. And so the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get some vehicles to transport the goods. And we're going to need vehicles that can both transport grain and can transport livestock. So to get our vehicles, the first thing we will need is a truck or a road depot. Again, we have the four different options of the orientation. All that's really important is to have the opening facing the road like this, for example, and that way they are automatically joined. And so once that's done now, we can click on the road depot and we want to buy some new vehicles. And we need vehicles that can transport grain and we need vehicles that can transport livestock. And so we don't have trucks that can do both of these things at the same time. We don't have like omni-role trucks that can just transport anything we want. We have to buy the trucks for the job. So in this case, we will need to buy some livestock trucks, such as this Talbot livestock van, which can transport 14 heads of livestock at a time. And we will need the grain truck, which can transport 20 tons of grain. So let's buy one of each, one grain truck and one livestock van. And once they are bought, the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tell them where to go and what to do. So this is road vehicle 1. This is the window for road vehicle 1. This is the vehicle. This is the window for road vehicle 2. And this just shows you where they are essentially in this little picture here. And if we want to tell them what to do, we have to click on the yellow arrow here, which is vehicles orders. And then we get this kind of list of orders which has nothing. So we begin by clicking go to, and we want to tell them to go to this farm, to this truck stop here, right? So we click on the truck stop here. It says go non-stop to okay, I'm not going to read that name. Go non-stop to this place, Heights. And when they get there, what we want to do is we click on this order and we say when you get there, full load any cargo. And that means when they get there, they will load up on whatever cargo it is that they can carry. So being a grain truck, it will load up as much grain as it can carry, and then it will go to the next order. And the next order I want is to, after it goes here and it gets a full load, I want it to go to the factory over here. And actually, I don't need to tell it to unload when it gets here. It will do that automatically. So that's it for road vehicle 1. That's its orders. So we can close that and we can do exactly the same for road vehicle 2. So press go to the truck stop here, and we click on this order and we say full load any cargo. we left click again so we're not selecting the order, and then we click go to the other station here, and that's it, done. So if we close these windows, now road vehicle 1, road vehicle 2, they have their orders, and we can see here it says stopped. If we want them to begin their journey, start doing their work, we can just click on this and click on this, and they will now leave the depot and go off on their merry way to collect the grain, collect the heads of cattle as they can. And so let's just watch them do that. It's only a short journey. We can close these windows and watch them collect their goods. Oops. Still in the habit of pressing WASD there. My mistake. And here we go. We get a nice little newspaper pop-up celebrating the truck's first arrival. It shows the percentage loaded above the trucks as they gain the resources. And one of the other nice things now is after we send the first trucks to the stop here, this farm will now actually start storing the resources we have already collected in the truck station here. And we can see that here, 19 head of livestock, 19 tons of grain, and this is going to keep going up according to the production. And so now whenever we send trucks here, they will instead be able to just collect from the already stored resources in the station here, rather than having to wait for the farm to produce something. But the station will only start storing the resources after we have sent the first trucks there to begin with. So the first trucks or the first vehicles really that you send to any place to collect a resource will always take longer than the second or third trucks, because by the time the second or third trucks arrive, there will already be stored resources and they can fill up very quickly then. So now the trucks are following the route through the town, and this is a nice amount of road here that we didn't have to pay for, so we saved money on that. And they're going down here where they will deposit the goods here at the factory, and the factory then will start producing goods as well. 0 crates of goods because we haven't delivered anything. So what we can also do if we like is we can get a goods truck, and we can tell the goods truck to go to the loading bay here, collect the goods, and send it to the town. Let's see how much money this truck will make us from the grain. So it made us 669 pounds. I think that was the cattle actually. This is the grain truck arriving now. Of course, we're not just going to do this with one truck of each kind. That's not very efficient. We're just watching the basic process here. That grain made us 1,000 pounds for that delivery. Wonderful. Now this is building up a lot of resources here that we are not really taking advantage of. So if we want to have more trucks doing the same thing, it's actually a really nice function we have in the road depot. So if we click on the depot, we can see an option here that is clone vehicle. And so if we use this and we click on any of the vehicles that we already have, such as this livestock truck here, this will clone the truck. And essentially what that means is it buys another of the same kind of truck, but it also keeps the orders. We see here Road Vehicle 3. This is the new truck that we just bought by the cloning function. Already has the orders to go to this farm and get a full load and then transport it to the factory. And so now we can just say, okay, off you go. Get to it. Start doing the thing. And we can clone the grain truck as well. We can do the same thing, and then off you go. Go do the thing. Go collect the grain, go sell it. And so you only need to really buy and give orders to one truck of a particular kind, and after that you can just clone. And that's going to save you a lot of time. Now I'm probably going to need even still more than just 2 trucks of each kind. So maybe let's just clone a a couple more. And once I've cloned it, we see it's in the vehicle depot here. I can even clone the clone, like this. This is becoming a kind of mad science now, cloning clones. And this is cloning the grain truck, and let's clone it again. Let's just say go, 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 go. And there we go. Off they go on their merry farming journey. And now the second thing we can do is we can try to take advantage of the goods that are now going to be produced by the factory here, thanks to it receiving the grain and the livestock. So we'll need to send a truck that can carry goods to this woods. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. And then it will need to take it to the town. So we'll need to also build a truck stop in the town. So let's do that. Let's click on the build roads and the truck loading bay. And let's see, where can we put a good one? So we're looking again at accepts and supplies. We see it does accept goods in many different places. Now this road here down the middle does look like the best place. The only problem is that as the livestock and grain trucks use this road as their transport route, I don't really want goods trucks taking up, that road space when they stop to deliver things, because then they're gonna create a bit of congestion. So maybe it's better if I don't put a truck station on this transport route road, and instead maybe I place one over here or over here. So let's put one maybe here. We see that this does accept goods. Over here also accepts goods. In fact, I think I like this one better. So this one does match the road. Let's put it here. Not going to try and read that name. No, this one seems not too bad. Uluyalikaya. Yes, alright. That's not a mouthful at all. So now that we have the extra loading bay there, what we do is, let's not have any roads on our mouse. Let's buy a new vehicle, and we want something that can transport goods. So the Balog goods truck, let's buy it. Let's give it the orders. So it has to collect the goods from the factory first. So go to this station and we click on the order, make sure it has a full load. Now left click off the order so it's not selected. Go to this one here, and that should be just fine. That's all the orders it needs. Let's send it on its merry journey. Out it goes. Wonderful. And away it goes. Now why are my trucks pink? Because I have a pink automatic color given to me. We can change it if we like, I think, the color scheme here. So the road vehicle color scheme, let's see, can we change this? I'm not sure we can. Maybe not. We can't change it right now. We are pink. Pink is our thing. Oh, we can change it here. Okay, let's change to dark blue. There we go. So this is the color selection here. Oh, white is nice. Oh, that's gray even. Cream, dark green. Oh, dark green is nice. Let's take that. Let's take dark green and not pink. Not that I have anything against pink. I just have lots of things for dark green. So here the goods truck has arrived, and now the issue again is the first time a vehicle arrives to collect some kind of resource is the resource hasn't been pre-stored in the truck station here. So this truck is going to wait here at 0% until one or two of the grain or livestock trucks arrive. And once they arrive, they will deliver the livestock and grain to the factory. The factory can then use those resources to produce the goods, and that will fill up the goods truck. And then after that, the factory will automatically store crates of goods in the truck loading bay here. And so then every time the goods truck comes back, it's not going to wait at 0% here. This is something that's not really well explained in the game and can be a little bit puzzling, I think, when you're a beginner and you see your truck is waiting here at 0% and you think, well, I'm I'm sending resources here, and this is apparently producing crates of goods, but my goods truck is not collecting any goods. So what's that about? But we'll see here. In come the trucks. They deliver the cattle, and we see the goods truck now fills up, and this station now is going to start storing the crates of goods. We see it already has 2 crates. And now anytime the other trucks come and deliver their grain or livestock, it's going to store even more crates of goods into this station here. And we'll see that now with these 2 grain trucks coming in. So in they come, drop off the grain, and the crates of goods is now up to 19. In comes the second truck. It's up to 25, it's up to 32. Okay, there we go. And the goods truck actually can't transport that many goods at a time. Let's see. I just found it there. No, I didn't click it. This one. Let's see. Can we click on the road vehicle details? It has a capacity of 14 crates of goods. And there is already, we click on this station, for 50 crates of goods waiting to be transported. So what we can do is we can clone the goods truck. Obviously we can use or we can utilize more than one at a time. And another thing we might want to consider for efficiency's sake is a second road depot, because trucks will break down as you use them and they will need to go for maintenance in the road depot. But if your truck breaks down over here and it has to drive all the way back up here through the town up to this road to the depot, it can do that very, very slowly. It can break down again along the way. Whereas if there's already a depot on this side waiting, it's going to spend less time getting fixed, which means it will then have more uptown funk. It would then have more uptime transporting goods, which is what makes us money. So let's just add another road depot. Let's say right here on the corner. And there we go. That way, if there are any breakdowns here, they can go to this depot. Any breakdowns over here, they can go to this depot as well. So now what we need to kind of keep track of here is the goods that are being stored in the station here. This has gone up to 380 head of livestock and 350 tons of grain, which is quite a lot. So we can probably clone maybe even 3 more of each truck. But we'll need to check that we have the finances to do so. So let's check. Our current bank balance is 56,000. So for the purposes of building up our first industry, we do start with a loan of £150,000, and sometimes that's just not enough to get things kind of rolling quickly. So we'll just borrow maybe another £50,000. And it's not a huge issue. If we look at the loan interest here, it's about £3,000 a year. No big deal. As long as we have more trucks, we'll be making more money anyway, and we're gonna make more than we lose from interest. So now that we've borrowed some extra cash, let's click on clone vehicle. Let's clone the grain truck, and let's clone the clone and clone the clone's clone, and let's send them off on their merry journey. And then let's do the same thing with the livestock truck. That's this one here, and we clone the clone, and again send the 3 off on their journey. Now, although there is 300 tons already stored in the depot here, I think an important kind of principle to follow is that even when we see there's a lot being stored, and so we're obviously not transporting it fast enough, is that we don't overbuy to compensate. So when you start getting a significant surplus like this, yes, buy more vehicles to transport, but don't buy 10, buy 3, and then see how the resource manages like that. So there's 3 grain trucks, took it down to 300 tons of grain. There's 3 livestock trucks, took it down to 385 head of livestock. Now, there's still another couple of trucks coming back, which will reduce the head of livestock again. And so all we're going to do is we're just going to monitor this rate of transport. And if it keeps going up, then we know we can buy maybe 2 or 3 more trucks again. Fine, no problem. If it kind of maintains where it's at 400, then we probably know we have about enough and we can buy maybe 1 or 2. And then if we see the number slowly going down, we know we're transporting fairly efficiently. If you have 0 resources stored in the depot here, you've probably got too many vehicles for what's being produced, and in that case, then your vehicles will be waiting at the truck depot for the resources to be produced, and that's not very efficient because your trucks have a running cost per year. If we click on this truck here, we go to the road to the vehicle details, we can see the profit this year, and we can see, let's see, it should tell us a running cost here. Running cost is £725 a year. So if we have our vehicles just sat at a factory or a farm waiting for resources, that's actually costing us money when they are not doing anything. They're not making us money, and that's inefficient, and that's not how we're going to make a good business or a profitable business. So it's generally better to at least have some kind of surplus going on here. And so, at the moment, I can see that this is not really going down. So after buying a few more trucks and waiting and watching the numbers, I can feel fairly confident in cloning, a couple more vehicles. Let's clone a couple of grain trucks. Let's clone a couple of livestock trucks, and let's just send them all out as well. And then we will watch the numbers again. And we don't just do that at the farm. So let's keep this number in our head, 420 and 360. 420 and 360. Let's go down to the factory here. 146 crates of goods means probably we could do with buying a couple more of the goods vehicles. This one I think is the Balog goods truck. Yep, so let's click on our other depot here, and let's make a couple of clones of this one. Let's see how that goes. So we'll send these guys out. Of course, we can also bear in mind here that every time we buy more grain trucks and we buy more livestock trucks to transport the resources here, we will then also need more goods trucks to transport what's being produced in the factory by that grain and livestock that has been transported there. So we have a nice little industry going on here. And so the next step we have here is once we've figured out how many trucks we kind of need to get this thing maintained, then we can move on to another farm or another industry. So I think we said 360 and 420, something like that, right? So the grain has gone down, the livestock hasn't. So I might want to consider buying a couple more livestock trucks. So let's clone the livestock. That's this one, and let's get 2 of them. Let's send them on their way. And again, we need to bear in mind every time we buy more trucks to transport the goods here, we will again need more trucks to transport the crates of goods here. We see now we have a little bit of an industry going on here. If we click on the road vehicles here, we see we've got 23 road vehicles. If we click on the graphs here, we can see our operating profit. So at the very start, when I was just exploring the different industries, we had nothing and we were actually losing money from the loan interest. And then we had to spend some money to build the supply stations, the truck stations and the roads. And then once we finally, finished the infrastructure and we could buy the trucks to transport and begin making money for us, then the profit increased quite nicely. And once we bought some more trucks, it decreased again. And then once those trucks started delivering, it increased quite significantly again. And if we have a look at our finances, at the moment we've made 32,000 this year, which is which is fine. It's not an amazing amount of money. It's certainly better than nothing, but this is just getting the industry up and running essentially, and we're still kind of just watching and seeing, do we need to buy more trucks or not? And this going up to 460 still after buying more trucks, and still 400 tons of grain after buying more trucks means I think I can probably uh, still buy a couple more trucks. But let's see, I see there's one, two, three, four, five, six trucks coming in to collect resources at the moment. So sometimes I find it's better if we just watch and wait, because the difference between six trucks can sometimes be significant. So let's see. Let's let them collect the resources. So this year we made 40,000, but we spent 110,000. You have to spend money to make money. Okay, so the collecting is down to 400 tons of grain. Here comes another grain truck, another grain truck here. So I even after buying more livestock trucks, I still have a significant surplus of livestock. And sometimes the production of a particular place can go up and down. So this is not always going to remain at 117 and 108. It can go up or down. And it doesn't even tell you how much you have transported. So it says 62% of the livestock and 53% of the grain. And this is going up now to 500 and 400 tons of grain. So probably I could even consider buying 3 more of each vehicle. So let's clone and get 3 livestock trucks. And we don't have enough cash for that, so we're going to take another loan. Let's borrow another 50,000 or so, and let's clone the livestock truck. Let's send them off on their merry way, and then let's clone some grain trucks and do the same thing. Off they go. And let's see if we can get this number to somehow go down. The crates of goods as well also are piling up. So let's let's clone another couple of goods vehicles and also get them to go. Okay, off they go. And let's check now. The profit is kind of going up, very, very nicely. But trucks do cost money. And the bank balance is 40,000, but with the loan of 280,000, we are at minus 238. And it's not a big deal even now with such a large loan. The interest per year is not that high. So this is not just like oh, I need to pay back my loan as soon as possible and I shouldn't spend more than what I already borrowed. This is just a tool you use. If you If you can make use of more vehicles to transport more things, then that will make you more money than you would pay on the loan. So just borrow more money and do it. And once you kind of reach a stage of equivalence or equality where this is not going up so ridiculously high like it is at the moment, then you know you can stop buying trucks. Maybe you can just wait and let the time speed forward a bit through a few years where you make your money and you pay back your loan if you want to. Again, it's not a huge amount of money in the interest, but if you're spending 4,000 on your loan per year while only making 40,000, that's still 10% of your income, right? Which is not great to lose 10% every year. So paying it back is worth it in some regards. But somehow, even with buying more and more livestock trucks, I'm still up to 527 heads of livestock here. So again, I would still need to buy some more livestock trucks. I just can't get enough, apparently. These these cows just keep breeding like there is no tomorrow. That's fine. We just monitor, and if it still keeps going up, then we know it's safe to buy more vehicles. And once it starts going down, that's when you generally know you can stop and just let it go down over time so that your vehicles still have that nice efficiency. You know what? I'm gonna buy even one more livestock truck because 500 is just ridiculous. And I will probably need to also buy more goods trucks because more livestock, more grain means more goods, almost up to 300 crates of goods here. So this is the goods truck, clone, and no money again. So let's just send that one out. What's the finances situation? So we've taken 280,000 in loans now. But I would say that the profit is probably going to be reasonably good this year after buying so many more trucks. How much do the goods trucks make? They make 471 per load, but it's just a short journey, so it's not always about the number itself. And generally the way it works is the further the vehicles travel, then the more money that you will make from the delivery. But of course, the further they have to travel, the more time that they spend traveling anyway. So it's like it's give and take in that regard. Just the number itself is not what makes the industry good. So there's the giant drop again from buying all the vehicles. But this is going up. We're now up to 35,000 for this year. And let's see if this is okay. This is finally, it seems, going down from its ridiculous heights of 5 and 400. So we can just leave it like that. And this is our nice little pretty simple industry, just transporting from the farm to the factory and then the goods that are produced in the factory to the town. And if we wanted, we could even join the road here to this town, and we could even deliver some of the goods to this town as well if we wanted. And with it being, a quite short distance here, that could be a good way to reduce this huge surplus of goods here. And again, we could even connect this farm to the factory as well. Build a road here straight through the town up to the factory here, build another station here, a separate station. They don't have to be, doesn't have to be the same one. And then they will also send even more grain and livestock to this factory, which will then produce even more goods. which you can then again transport to the town here or the town here to sell. And as you use these industries that are actually associated with the towns, it will make the towns in turn also grow. They will be more likely to grow. So if we click on the town here, it says town grows every 100 days. And if we click on this one, town is not growing because we're not using much of its industry. I think we are just using its factory. We see the name here. The name of the town is associated with this factory here. So if we did connect the road here, or if we did connect a truck station here and we delivered goods to this town, then this not growing would probably change to growing. And as the towns get bigger, again, you can then utilize other industries such as transporting mail or transporting people via buses or planes or trains. And you can also make your money that way. It's up to you. You know, which industry you would like to utilize is really entirely your choice. There are a lot of them on the map. And one of the other nice things I find from the game is that the kind of climate you choose to produce on your map. So this was a temperate climate. The climate you choose for your map also affects what industries are there. So it's not all the same, and so you can produce an entirely different map with different variables that will also have completely different industries for you to play around with. You can have much more water on your map, in which case then you can go for a kind of ship industry if you like. So you can build docks, you can buy ships to transport people or goods or things like that. If instead you maybe wanted to build airports and planes and transport people and goods between towns, you can do that. There's a lot of freedom in how you make your money in this way. But the kind of same principles still apply in that you need to place your receiving station, whether it's a for boats or planes or trains, within the catchment area of the resource, and then you have to build a second receiving station also, you know, within the catchment area of a place that wants that resource. And then once you buy the correct vehicle that can transport that resource, then you give it the orders to first collect a resource or whatever somewhere, and then go to another place where it will deliver that resource, and you will make money. And that's the basic way that we play OpenTTD. And although I only used trucks and a very small area of the map here, you know, the same principles apply for pretty much all of them. And so let's see now. Is this finally this is some kind of super farm that can just not be whittled down from its 500 tons of, or 500 head of livestock and 400 tons of grain. But the profit for this year has almost doubled from last year. So it was 40,000. It's 73,000 at the moment, and the year isn't over yet. So we're getting there. It's we see again that we are in July or August now. The profit has jumped up significantly when we bought those new trucks and they started delivering, and buying no new trucks now. It is starting to level out at around, it's a little bit small these numbers, but it's around 20,000 profit. And we see here now, you know, we've made more than double last year. We did have to spend a lot of money. And if we want now with this is fairly functional, not exceptionally functional. 500 crates of goods here. Now, because this factory station here is being used by many different kinds of vehicles, if we continue to buy more, it could start to get a little congested. So something we can do is we can actually build some extra stations. And so I'll show you how to do that quickly. If we just build little uh, circular shape here. Wait for the vehicles to go so we can build it here. Now, one of the things that's a little bit of a problem actually with the truck stations is if I want to build another station, let's say here, it's next to the factory, it will still receive the goods there. But because it's not next to this station here, the game will actually designate it as a different station with a different name. And so the orders we have given to the vehicles would not apply to this station. And an easy way to kind of circumvent that is if you place any station within one tile of an already existing station, like here, it keeps the same name and the orders still apply. And so then we can just build another one at a diagonal here, just like this. And this is now also, again, still has the same name, still applies to the same orders. We can just delete the one in the middle here, like this with the bomb. Make sure we rebuild the road. And now we have two stations that are not joined directly next to each other, but which are technically the same station. They still have the same name. All the orders that we gave to the trucks apply to both this stop here and this stop here. And because we've got two circles going on here now, this is an easy way to reduce congestion. And if one station is full, the trucks will not go to that one, they will go to the other one instead. And we can increase the efficiency that way. But let's just use maybe some of our profit, our 50,000 to clone a few more trucks, especially the goods trucks. That's this one here. And let's do 3 more of these and send them on their merry way. And maybe also some more, yeah, still some more livestock and grain trucks because this is apparently a super farm that cannot be emptied of its goods. And even I'm running out of money again trying to to buy more trucks to keep up with the production of this single farm. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it like that. And yeah, we can just keep doing this. As we get more money, we can buy more trucks. Or if you'd like to do it faster, just borrow more money. It's very simple. Even now with a loan of 280,000, um, the loan interest is only 5,000, but the profit now is going to be pretty much around 100,000. That's only 5% of your profit. So overall, the borrowing loan part of the game is very reasonable as long as you build up an efficient industry with it. And this is a very simple industry, just from one farm to one factory, and the goods from the factory into the nearby town, and we're just using trucks. There's a there's a traffic jam here from one truck being broken down, which can happen sometimes. There it's going for its maintenance now. If we want to reduce things like that, we can build even parallel roads, and we can use the one-way road system then to make sure trucks go down one road to get to the factory, and they use another road to go back to the farm. But that would be, again, a significant infrastructure investment because, building roads is not cheap. So, it is something to consider if you're having a lot of trucks like we have here. And at this stage, even I might want to start considering buying or building another truck station here, just like I did over at the factory to reduce the congestion for loading and unloading. It's not too bad right now, but if I continue to need to buy more, which somehow I seem like I will need to because this factory just, I don't know, continues to produce indefatigably, inexorably, endlessly. And I mean, in some ways, that's fine. I mean, I can just continue to make more and more money by buying more and more trucks and transporting more and more of these resources, right? Bit of a traffic jam here as well. So this is now where, you have so many trucks on one single road that one breakdown can start to cause issues. If you start to have multiple breakdowns, then it can really start to cause issues. And as we go through time now, we get these kind of newspaper pop-ups that tell us about new vehicles that have become available over time. So as we progress through the years, new vehicles become available that tend to be more expensive but also more efficient. Either they can carry more, or they are faster, or more reliable, they break down less, they have a longer lifespan, whatever else. And so this is what we can do, as new vehicles become available. In our case, the industry we are using is road vehicles. As new road vehicles become available that can transport grain or livestock, we can then start to cycle out our old trucks and build new trucks to do the same thing. And so we can keep this industry going for a long time, as long as this farm continues to somehow endlessly produce grain and livestock. And then we'll get more efficient trucks. As we get more efficient trucks, we would actually need less of them on the road because they're faster, they're more efficient, they can move more compared to the older ones. But at the moment, this is going reasonably well, making a reasonable amount of money. Lots of goods trucks transporting the goods, which I probably still do not have enough to transport effectively, but it's building up, which is fine. It's not like they are going to waste, and making a reasonable amount of money here. Let's see what we're up to now. So last year finished on 93, which was more than double what we made the previous year. This year, again, if I continue buying more trucks, will again be even higher than 93. If I decided to borrow a bunch more money like this and invest in a bunch more, let's say, trucks, more livestock trucks. I honestly can't believe how many livestock trucks I've needed for this, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Let's clone a grain truck or two as well and send them. Okay, and let's close these windows. And I guess we could probably also get some more goods trucks. These ones, maybe 3 more of those. And then most of the money that I just borrowed is gone. And so we'll see a dip in the operating profits here, and then we'll also see a pretty big jump up again because of all these new vehicles, delivering all these goods and making all that extra money. So this is it. This is essentially a very basic way to set up an industry. And once this is done here, like even now, I could just go away and I could leave the game for 30 minutes or so without doing anything, and it would just continue to make me money without me doing anything at all. I mean, the trucks have a lifespan of about 15 years, and we've gone through maybe 5 years, 3 or 4 years so far. In the time that this video has been going on, it's been 3 or 4 years in game time, and now with the profits being 100 something thousand, I don't really need to change anything. I can, if I want, like I have been doing, buy more vehicles and sell more goods, or connect a road to this town and sell some of the goods here, connect this farm to the factory and reproduce what we've done here again, and then make even more money again. Or I could alternatively just go to a totally different part of the map, and let's say this steel mill here, I could transport the iron ore from this iron ore mine to the steel mill here, and the steel from the steel mill to a nearby factory. Let's say, is there one nearby? I think that's also a steel mill. Yeah. Is there a factory nearby? Maybe not. Looks like that's a negative. What's this one? Steel mill again. Steel mill. Okay, no factories nearby. But the the point is that you don't have to just, stay where you are with what you already have. You can go anywhere on the map and build anything you like. You're not restricted to the one location that you start in. So you can explore and you can see if there are any nice kind of setups where you have some very large producing industries with the nearby secondary and tertiary industries that you need, where you can, move the goods and produce extra goods, which you then move somewhere else, which you then sell somewhere else. You can transport in different ways. I could take some of the goods that are produced in this factory here, and I could even build a train station here and have the train station transport goods to a faraway city if I wanted. Maybe maybe this one here. Eski Kurtyurt. So I could build a train station here and I could connect it to the factory here and I could have a train, transport goods once a month or something to that town. And that would be another way for me to make more money and to build up an entirely new industry. But it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be here. It could be all the way across the map if you have, enough money for that much industry, for that much infrastructure to build the railways. Because remember, the roads, the railways, they are not free and they are not cheap. So, paying for those things is something you have to factor into your expenses. But this is the basics of playing OpenTTD. This is how you select what the different things are. You understand how they connect, and then you connect them in whatever way you would like, with the roads or with rails or with planes or it's really up to you and your imagination as to how you do it. So that's going to be it for this tutorial video. I hope that helps you to understand how we can get started in this game. It is a very nice game and it's totally free. So if you'd like to try it, feel free, go ahead. Like I said, I put the link to the website in the description. Go ahead and download it and give it a try for yourself. But otherwise from me, that's it for this video. So thanks for coming by and I hope you come back next time.